In this video, I took on the great challenge of becoming the greatest airbender of all time in Minecraft Avatar: The Last Airbender, 100 days. On my journey, we fought dragons, we fought cyclopses, and we even faced off against a sun god. Be sure to watch the whole video to see how we got on. Without further ado, let's jump straight in. So Minecraft Day 1 is always back to basics in any mod pack, any world. Basically, you gotta go, set up, find any resources you can, establish a base. This, unfortunately though, I got attacked by a wild boar while trying to run away, so I sprinted for my life because I didn't want to spawn into this world straight away and then immediately die. So I sprinted immediately past an airbender as well, which is really annoying because I could have used that scroll. But fortunately, I managed to actually find a village. Now this village became the stronghold for my whole playthrough of this 100 days in Avatar: The Last Airbender. It was insanely lucky that I was actually able to find this place straight off the bat. I couldn't have asked for a better spawn. And it had a blacksmith. That means a chest, and in that chest was a universal scroll, which was absolutely incredible. I was set up to become an airbender, which is the one I really wanted to focus on, because airbending is the best type of bending style, so I had to do airbending. So I got the scroll, I got the base, everything was looking good. I now, did a little bit of farming. I had to, start cultivating some food, making sure that I was good to go. Fortunately as well, that this village had wool on top of the posts, so I had 3 wool, the perfect amount to make a bed. I was extremely lucky, and I don't actually know how I got this lucky off the bat, but I'm not complaining. So we finished up the farming, ate some food, everything was good, crafted some tools, and then made a bed, went to bed. It was time to sleep. The boars are back again though. These are the bane of my life in this mod pack. Nothing else, just the boars. But now we can finally sleep at the end of day 1. So, day 2 was upon us, and we finally unlocked the bending styles. I went for airbending, of course, because it is the best bending style. The only problem is, I needed another airbending scroll, or a universal scroll, in order to unlock one of the abilities. So, that's exactly what I went to do. I went to find an airbender. For whatever reason, there's an airbender and a firebender underneath the ground. So they spawn underground. I managed to find the nameplate, so I made my way down. Of course, along the way, I picked up every resource I possibly could because I need them at the moment. It's only day 2, so I find the firebender, but I hear a skeleton to my right, and I don't want to deal with that. They're a nightmare, so block it off. That was the safe thing to do. Then we need to just get rid of the firebender because the Fire Nation are dangerous, of course. I still don't have any bending abilities unlocked, so I had to just use the sword. I did try trading with the firebender, but he was having none of it. So instead I had to attack him, and fortunately I managed to get a universal scroll. This was awesome. It allowed me to unlock one of my airbending styles, which you'll see here. I unlocked the Airblade, and I just started launching attacks at the airbender and the zombie because I needed the scrolls. I just need scrolls to level up, and I managed to get them fairly easily. So day 5 was a bit of a slow one. Basically, I just spent the whole day training and leveling up my airbending abilities. You'll see me just jumping around here like a madman, basically trying to get that jump to 100, because the quicker I could get my abilities maxed out, the better. There's an endless amount of mobs that just want to kill me at the moment in this, so I had to just train my abilities up, and you'll see I was just attacking the boars. I was getting my revenge because I deserved it. So day 23, this was a crazy one. I encountered a fire dragon, and you'll see I have no inventory at the moment. That's because the fire dragon killed me. So I went back and I got my own back. I put up my air bubble and I just launched air scythes at the dragon, and I wasn't holding back. I was getting rid of it there and then. There was nothing stopping me. I ran away because I thought the dragon was going to come and kill me. This is important because it was stuck behind the tree, thankfully. Otherwise, I think I definitely would have lost. You can see the dragon is definitely not happy here, but I made sure that it was stuck behind the tree. Fortunately, the AI wasn't as smart as I thought it was going to be, and I just launched air scythe after air scythe after air scythe, and I finally managed to kill my first dragon. So we went on over. At this point, I didn't know I could just right-click the dragon carcass a bunch of times. to get scales. I thought I had to break it or it would just sort of deteriorate on its own and drop it eventually. So throughout this whole playthrough, I don't get any dragon scales, and that's on me for just being stupid. Of course, I killed the dragon, so I get the riches. I went around, I just grabbed all the golden nuggets, searched all the chests, and left with quite a few good resources. Day 31. In the distance, I encountered a Cyclops, and of course I still needed to train some of my airbending abilities, so I thought, why not just launch a barrage of attacks at it? And yeah, it worked out well. I managed to take down the Cyclops without any difficulty whatsoever, and I even picked up a Cyclops eye. It's kind of gross, but it's actually quite powerful. Then I headed back, and there was a horde, like an entire horde, as if I was dropped into the world of The Walking Dead, and there was a horde all around me. It was actually crazy, and I didn't know what to do. You'll see, again, my inventory is muddled because the horde managed to kill me the first time I went back. But I got my own back. I threw my bubble up. They couldn't touch me. I launched air scythe after air scythe again. And this is perfect training for my airbending skills, to be honest. And I managed to clear the horde, which is pretty good. Day 52 was probably one of the most intense battles I had. I faced off against the Sun Chief, and, well, it worked in my favor. I managed to take down the Sun Chief, and then I became the Sun Chief Crateup. It was an honor, to be honest. I actually got my own minion from it too, but I put on the mask, and then that is when I was crowned. I mean, I was self-crowned the Sun Chief of this world, and then the other mask I had was a little minion. It was cool. Also, I maxed out my air scythe and killed another dragon. Dragons at this point were no problem whatsoever. It's kind of funny. At this point, I started exploring the world more. Day 57, I actually managed to find a mine shaft, and it was quite open. I didn't end up going back to the mine shaft for whatever reason. It was probably because when I was down there, I didn't really find anything worthwhile, which is probably because I didn't look hard enough, but I was finding so many resources elsewhere that I didn't really need to go here, especially with the scrolls that I was finding in the overworld up higher. I didn't really need to go into the mines all that much, so it was pretty cool to find, but not very interesting. Day 64 though, this is where we maxed out everything and unlocked the final 2 airbending abilities. Also, I accidentally summoned my minion, so I let him out for a little bit before I put him back in. But we finally unlocked the 2 final airbending steps to become an airbending master. It's pretty awesome. It's a shame that in this mod you can't seem to become the full avatar, which would have been cool, but that's just something that we would have had to learn all of the other types of scrolls, and I didn't see a single water or earthbender, so it was just fire and air, so it kind of would have been hard unless I had universal scrolls to level up everything. Also, towards the end of the 64th day, I actually managed to build a nether portal. This was crucial because I wanted to kill the end dragon, and to do that I needed, well, blaze rods and blaze powder in order to make Eyes of Ender. So we made a nether portal. Now, I didn't have any diamonds, so I used the old trick of using water and lava. Lit the end portal, and we were good to go. So the next day, day 65, we entered the Nether for the first time. And I gotta be honest, this was quite an interesting adventure going into the Nether. I did find that I was catching on fire just randomly. It was quite annoying, but we found a stronghold right next to where we spawned, so naturally I had to make my way over there. Annoyingly though, there were a lot of these blaze things that weren't quite blazes, but they looked like blazes that I really just didn't want to deal with. So again, with my upgraded claw, I just took them all out. It was quite easy. The Nether wasn't that scary, to be honest, and I thought it would be quite scary. You'll see there's a skeleton down there also launching flaming arrows at me. It was no problem. I didn't have to worry. But we managed to explore a lot of the fortress. We managed to sort of plan out a route where we wanted to go. I didn't go too deep into the fortress that day because I didn't have enough resources on me, and plus I didn't want to die right now. It probably would have been the worst time to die with no resources really, and in the Nether of all places, because I know all of my stuff would have just exploded over the side and it just would have been tragic. So, day 70, back in the Nether, and we actually found a blaze. This was huge. The fact that I found a blaze and I was able to get blaze rods right now meant that we were on the track to get Eyes of Ender. The only thing I needed now were Ender Pills. This is where day 83 comes in. This was absolutely insane. I actually managed to find an Enderman. This was the first Enderman I'd found. I had to just be lucky. It spawned right next to where I was. So, of course, I took it out. It took me a whole day to take it out. I'm not even joking. This was probably the hardest fight I had, and it was an Enderman. Like, I just had to bait it over all the time. It kept teleporting away, and then it was actually doing some serious damage. I thought I was going to die to it. You'll see I kind of panicked a little when it teleports me. This is an ability I didn't realize it had. So I panicked a little bit, run back into my little enclosure, which I should have made a bit bigger. And yeah, I just did enough damage and took it out. This was a no-brainer. Day 90 is where my adventure began towards the end portal. And it was an intense journey indeed. It took me 2 whole days to find the end fortress. We managed to not lose that many, to be honest. It only took me 2 whole days because I was really slow. I was really ineffective. I haven't looked for the end portal in so long in vanilla Minecraft, so I just completely forgot how to do it properly. But I managed to find a library once we dug down. That was actually really helpful. It killed me a lightning scroll, although I couldn't learn it. Like I said earlier, it's kind of unfortunate you can't become the avatar in this, but you know, it's fine. So, we're close. I knew that I was going to find it. It took me a while though. It took me a whole Minecraft day. Day 93 is what we're on at the moment. And, well, let's just say that I needed a win. I needed to do this, so I did. The end portal actually didn't end up being that far away from where my base was. Fortunately, I now know the route back, which was good because I knew I was gonna die. I hoped I wouldn't, but I knew I would. So what I did here, I gathered some resources. I mined some of the bricks, so I had platforms to build, and then just jumped straight into the portal. It was time. Day 93. We're so close to day 100. I was surprised I actually made it before day 100 to the Ender Dragon, but we're on a good one. I managed to climb up with my air jump and just take out all of the crystals with actually quite a lot of ease. Then the battle began. The dragon killed me. Yeah, see, I mentioned about I know the route back. Well, that's because the dragon killed me. But that didn't matter at all, because when I got back and picked all my stuff up, the dragon disappeared. He went on holiday, he flew off, and I also really annoyed a mutant Enderman. But the dragon finally came back after about 5 or 6 minutes, and then the battle began. The health was getting low, so we started bombarding the dragon, and I saw that the health was almost done, so I pulled out my sword and got 4 final mighty swings in on the dragon in order to finish it off, and it was done. We had beaten the Ender Dragon after all this time as an Airbender. I was so happy to just finally get this done. This was my goal through this mod pack. Maybe we do day 100 to day 200 and we conquer the Twilight Forest on our own. But I potted around for the last couple of days because I had nothing else to do. And everything was great. We did it. We actually did it.